Welcome to the Florida Horse Podcast, brought to you by the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association. I'm Tammy Gantt, and I'm joined today by UF IFAS Director, McCazzio. Let's get started. So glad you could come in, Crystal, today and talk a little bit about the aspects of Farm City Week and then the Marion County Ag Hall of Fame.
I'm very happy to be here, and it's a great event and celebrating some amazing people and a great industry.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Farm City Week, a little bit about its history, and then its timing, and what we can look forward to each year when we host Farm City Week here in Marion County.
So the goal of Farm City Week is to really highlight agriculture and what they do for us. I mean, we depend on our farmers and ranchers every day for the food and fiber that that gives us a safe and reliable product. Like I said, we need to survive. And so it's a great opportunity to honor those and understand that relationship and that bond that we have with them. But it's the first, or it's the week right before Thanksgiving each year. And we have this amazing committee that gets together to decide on different activities and ways to try and involve our youth and have different components. So generally each year we have a couple of events out at normally CF Vintage Farm and the Plant Research Center, the UF Plant Research Center in Citra. And we've also incorporated some different activities at like the farmers market and of course the photo contest and some different pieces. And we also generally do a proclamation with the county commissioners meeting so that, you really spread the word and help people understand the importance of agriculture.
And you roll into, obviously, to the Hall of Fame banquet that happens that week. But the activities, I think, are really great because, you said food and fiber, and we add fur to that probably. And in the horse world, I like to use the word fun. Yeah. So food, fiber, fur, and then the horse thoroughbreds are the fun, I guess you could say. And not just thoroughbreds, but all equine. And I think a lot of people don't realize when we talk about agriculture in our county, we are horse capital of the world. We know that by sheer volume of horses, our county has more than any other county in the U.S., with Lancaster, Pennsylvania being second. And so, but I don't think folks, when they think of our agriculture, they realize that our county is also tops in some others too.
Yes, we're very diverse, and of course the horses, and we love them, but also we're 12th in the state for beef cattle, and then we're also first in sheep and goats, and then we have some notable row crops and things like peanuts and watermelon and some seasonal veggies as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's amazing because there's just such a vibrant list of commodities that you can go through for our county. And when you're in one part of the county, all you think is horse all day. But then I go out by Williston and I see the peanut festival and I see peanuts all day. I've seen our strawberry festivals. And so there's a lot more that I think that people don't realize, and it's a great opportunity for Farm City Week to realize. And of course, Farm City Week's driver is what we grow ends up on our tables. And so letting people know how and where our food comes from, I think is very important as part of that week.
Yeah, especially, now we've gotten so many generations removed from the farm. I mean, less than 2% of Americans are really directly involved with the agricultural production these days. And the average age of our farmer is approaching 60 years old. So a lot of our population gets further and further removed from the farm. So it's really important that we understand that process and where it comes from.
Yeah, and when you think of that in the thoroughbred world, our breeders, our horse breeders have aged, but we've seen more people come in that next second or third generation come in, which has been really important because then when I see some of the goat farmers, when I go to the seminars, I see the average age about 35. So I know that there are these other generations that connect, and sometimes it's one of these events that does that. So let's talk a little bit about, because one aspect of the Farm City Week events is the Ag Hall of Fame induction, which is the Marion County Ag Hall of Fame. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So that's our real big highlight. We get the opportunity to pick one of our, and the committee works together and picks has nominations, and they select a nomination between 1 and 3 individuals in our Marion County community that have really made a difference in what we're doing here and in the agriculture community specific to Marion County. But we have the best in the state and the nation. I truly believe it. and they have the heart, and these folks give back in so many ways. It just truly is rewarding to be able to highlight them and really note what they've done and a difference that they have made.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head that they actually have national influence, state influence, and then the local influence. And it's not just community service or service to agriculture, but it's also in various leadership ways. And when I look back at the list that relates to Florida thoroughbreds, I see, Jackson Dudley and Bonnie Heath II. They were both intricately involved with Needles, the first Florida bred to win the Kentucky Derby, put us on the map in 1956. And then you go from there to modern, to just in recent years, Gus Gray, who excelled, and he had a book written about the history of him involved with the thoroughbred industry all the way to 50 years between the historic Hooper Farm and now it's hard to believe more than 20 years at Double Diamond Farm. And his long legacy, he had won every division of the Farm Managers Awards possible, from breeding to owning to having a sales topper at OBS Sales. To being one of the first Black Americans inducted into our Hall of Fame. And so those are just a few of the people. And then we think of the O'Farrells, of course. We talked generations. They're now on their fourth generation. And so you have the matriarch, Joe O'Farrell, who was one of the founders of the OBS Sales and came up with that concept, which now that's a worldwide leader. And then you've got Michael O'Farrell, and I'm sure that next generation is right there with David and Joe, and then, of course, their family as they progress on. So we've got a lot. We've got Dr. Bronner, who was very intricate in farm managers many years ago on that equine side, too. But there's many, many others, like Jim Williams, who was the state agriculturalist, actually national. He was a national agriculturalist. He was actually in one of the administrations in D.C., and he came from here. So we've got all walks, even though I'm just mentioning the horse ones. I think there's now 32 individuals inducted, if I believe correctly.
We're up to 42.
Oh, 42. Oh, my goodness. 42, yes. And then I can't leave out Carol Harris, who is Rugged Lark's owner, and she really campaigned that horse, the super horse, two-time super horse. And his interesting thing is he connects back to Ocala Stud, his sire, Rough and Tumble, actually. So he was part thoroughbred and bred through, but because he had the quarter horse standings with all his progeny, he is in the quarter horse standings too. So it's really neat to see the connections of these longtime people that have really put forth in agriculture. And I think we could name some of the others. Obviously, our peanut leaders there's some in forestry too, I know. And then we've got the others that do the row crops, and then a large number of cattlemen.
Absolutely. So, and our inductees have ranged, like you said. So, in the past, we've had everyone from the Silers and Hal Phillips, and Bill Phillips with his involvement with Extension and Citrus, and just a lot of history there.
Yeah, I think of Mr. Lewis, who just recently passed, and then we have Marilyn Grant, and then we've got Citrus. I mean, just Citrus ones, you can name so many, and so it's just a rich history of that. And one of the things that was different that I will mention, last year they actually were awarded jackets for the Hall of Fame, and that just was an immense sense of pride to see all those folks come back together, accept that jacket in that group photo. And I think it was really meaningful because we were looking at more than 75 years of service to agriculture in Marion County.
Absolutely, and a chance to not only honor them and let the community, as they wear that jacket, see that they were honored for all they've done and given back, but also so that they can help spread the word. We're constantly trying to encourage our youth and to understand agriculture, and even if it's just being a good consumer of it, know that this plays a large role in everyday life.
Yeah. So I think those jackets have made some appearances at some school programs so that the youth can aspire to say, wow, they're a Hall of Famer, and I'm meeting with them, but they're down to earth, and they were able to, different ways, not have a farm, but find a way with sweat equity to create a farm and create a business, and then from there have that great success and continue it on. And I think that gives young people the dream that they can do that too.
Absolutely. It's that spark, that interest that makes them really think, oh, agriculture is so much, and look at these people that have done things, and I want to be part of that.
Yeah, for sure. So is there anything else you'd like to add about Farm City Week or the Ag Hall of Fame or just UF IFAS Extension? Anything we might want to know as horse breeders and owners in the area, but also agriculturists overall?
So obviously, from the extension standpoint, we always want you to look to us for helping to provide that research-based information and education and whatever we can do to support our community and the needs that are there. But also to give us feedback and provide us with the information to continue to grow Farm City Week and understand, every industry and every piece of it. So we also are always looking for nominations for Ag Hall of Fame each year. So those normally go and are due normally the beginning of May. So I definitely encourage them to submit their nominations. I know it's a great industry and lots of individuals worthy of being nominated.
Yeah, I to be thinking now. And I do believe that, again, the next generation sees these events and hopefully learns a little bit more about agriculture, and then they can push that forward. And so when we say we're horse capital of the world, we've got to add a lot of other commodities in that list too. We're a very proud agriculture county, and we're very proud of every aspect of it and all the leaders in it. And that goes all the way to the extension offices and their programs, because you mentioned a little bit about the programs, but there is the Equine Institute. There's also, you can reach out for pasture management, also for the proper seeding rates if you're trying to reseed pastures, all the way through to folks that can give them in touch with water management, best management practices. The new manual just came out. And so there's a lot of equine science-based information available through the local office. It's just a matter of a phone call. They put you with the right person, and then you're able to cover that. And so lots of great seminars to attend, but also a lot of it's just sitting down one-on-one with one of the extension specialists.
Absolutely, and even the Florida friendly landscaping and we do soil testing and different things. So there's definitely a lot to offer in the office, and encourage everyone to reach out.
For sure. Thank you for coming in, Crystal. We really appreciate it. And breaking news, congratulations on your official appointment as the director at IFAS Extension. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.